Hi guys and welcome back to my channel. If you find yourself constantly trapped in a loop of thoughts, worrying about things you can't control, or even thinking about situations over and over in your head again, this video is for you. Today I'll be sharing some simple yet effective techniques to manage your overthinking and find inner peace. If you're new here, hi, I'm Soumya, and on this channel, we explore everything personal development, spirituality, and mental health. So, if this sounds like your vibe, do hit the subscribe button. Now, before diving into the video, let's try to understand what overthinking is and where it comes from. Overthinking comes from a place of fear of the unknown, fear of making the wrong decision, or fear of not being good enough. Our brain tricks us into believing that if we think about a situation in our head over and over again or overanalyze a situation, we will be able to get a control of the situation. But that's far from truth, right? In fact, overthinking drains your energy. It keeps you trapped in anxiety and makes you stuck in a place. It doesn't let you make decisions because you're always stuck between different options. So, the goal of today's video is not to suppress your thoughts, but to be able to manage them better. So, let's dive in. So, when overthinking is not that beneficial, why do we do it? So, all of my overthinkers will agree with me now when I say that our brain is preparing us for the worst case scenario so that we can come up with a response now. So that we are prepared for the worst case scenario much in advance, right? But if the worst case scenario is never gonna play out for you anyway, isn't it a waste of your time and effort? All of this time, which could have been used by you to plan your next best step, is the time that you spent on overthinking. Let me be honest, when we are stuck in a negative space or an overthinking space for a very, very long time, we might just end up manifesting them. You're underestimating yourself by thinking that the worst is gonna happen to you, so you need to be prepared for that. Now I understand where you're coming from. I understand the anxiety because of the past disappointments. But just because some bad things happened to you in the past doesn't mean that life is gonna be the same way, right? See, life is shit sometimes, and bad things happen to us, bad people enter our life, and bad things happen to us. But life is never the same. It always takes a turn. And this is coming from me, a person who herself has dealt with anxiety. So when I'm telling you, you just need to change your approach, your perspective. And it will get easier. Life will get better. It will feel lighter. It will get easier. The time that I changed my approach and my perspective on life got so much easier. I shifted my mindset from it's happening to me to it's happening for me. So, whenever I was faced with a task or anything that was giving me anxiety, I would just focus on the best that I could do. If I have given my best, then I surrender. Whatever's gonna happen will happen. Because the situation and everything else is now out of my control, I am gonna let go. I am not gonna attach myself too much to the results. And that lowered my anxiety significantly. That lowered my overthinking significantly. I was not thinking about what's gonna happen, I was just thinking about what am I supposed to do, then I would do it and then leave the rest. And that's the best we all can do in life. Give your best and just leave the rest, surrender. If something has to come to you, it will come to you. If it doesn't come to you, something else will come to you, something much better. You have to understand that if you fail at a task, that doesn't make you a failure. And is it failing early in your life much better than failing late in your 30s or 40s? People who fail much late in their life, they are not able to take failure. When we're young and youthful, we are so driven that if we face a lot of failures in our 20s and our 30s, we are able to adapt much easier. These failures, they help us reach closer to success. Failure is the stepping stone to success. So if you fail at something, take it as redirection, as protection from something that could have gone bad for you or that could not have worked out for you much later. Have that faith. Remember, everything is happening for you. Okay, Okay, now let's dive deep into some of the simple techniques which we can use to stop overthinking. Live in the present. Most of our anxiety is caused when we are too hung up on the past or focusing too much into the future. Let's say you have a paper tomorrow, any comparative exam, whether it's NEET or CAT or UPSC. Okay, you've prepared all year for the exam, but you're still not very confident. So you go ahead, give your paper tomorrow. You gave your best, right? Then you submitted your paper. Now you can only know the results after they're evaluated, right? But because you're an overthinker, you spend months now between the day of the exam to the day of the result. You spend days, months overthinking what will happen if you don't make it. What is that person gonna think? What are my parents gonna think? What is that friend gonna say? What are my teachers gonna say? Oh my god, how will I show face in the society if I don't make it? Now you spend all of these days overthinking, but the day of the results comes. And guess what? You've made it. Now what? We as humans are programmed to imagine the worst case scenarios, especially because if we faced disappointments in the past. But if now that you've realized your own pattern, you can break it. So when you realize that when you're stuck in this loop of overthinking, snap out of it. You have to consciously snap out of it. And then focus where you are now, in the present. The environment that you're in, the room that you're in. Look at the things around you. Try to count the things around you. It will shift your focus. Instead of thinking 10, 20, 30 steps ahead of the future, think about what's the next best thing you can do for yourself. Because by overthinking, you're only torturing yourself. By thinking about what a third person, fourth person will think about you, you're only torturing yourself. Because you're not thinking about you, you're thinking about everybody else but yourself. That's what we want to change, right? So, whenever you're overthinking, snap and into the present. Mindset shift. Everything is happening for you and not to you. So, whenever you face any hurdle in your life, think of what it's trying to show you. Think of what it's trying to teach you. All of our life experiences teach us something. I know there are people out there who would say that not everything is meant to teach us something. But I disagree with it. My take on it is a little different because I feel like all of our experiences teach us something. If they don't teach you something about the situation, they'll teach you something about yourself, how you react to certain things. If you're facing a crisis and it's triggering a response in you, what was your response? Can your response change the next time? Because in life, you're always gonna have one crisis or the other. Is it okay for you to go manic every time you hit a roadblock? No. So these hurdles, these roadblocks are in your way to show you something that either your approach needs to change or this is not the right direction. So instead of taking every crisis as a roadblock to your success, take it as a stepping stone. Because it's highlighting something that needs to be changed. As soon as you fix it, things will be fine. Nothing in life happens without any reason. So shift your mindset and see your life change. Grounding activities. So grounding activities are simple yet effective techniques in which you can manage your overthinking in that very moment. So some of them are things like, let's say you're in your office or in school, just getting up from your chair and stretching yourself. Or you can get up and even take a walk. It's even better if you're able to go and take a walk in a park where there are trees. And take long, deep breaths when you're at it. You know what's even more effective? Walking barefoot on the grass. That is one of the best grounding exercises. That helps you connect with nature. And that somehow it eases your anxiety and it lowers your overthinking. Think and manifest. If you're really gonna overthink, then why not think about something good? You know how manifestation works, right? When we focus our energy towards our manifestations, that gets our manifestations closer to us. That brings a manifestation because we're focused in that direction. We're focusing all of our energy in that direction, right? So when it comes to overthinking, let's think about something good. Think about the most delusional but most beautiful dream that you have and think about it over and over again. Because why not? At least in this way, if you're focusing so much of your energy and time into thinking about something good, that will manifest into your future, right? Instead of something that's bad. So, if you're gonna overthink, let's think about something good. Let's think about all of our dreams. What if they come true? Imagine. What if it all works out? Along with that, what you can also do is think about how you would feel when your manifestations have come. What space you're gonna be, what you're gonna be surrounded with, what emotions you're gonna feel. Everything that's connected with it. Your life mirrors what's happening within you. Haven't you heard, जैसी स्थिति चाहते हो वैसी सोच रखो? Means, if you want good things to happen in your life, keep your thinking positive, your thinking really good. Okay? So let's overthink about something good. Let's make that decision today. Okay? And then by overthinking, we're gonna manifest all of the good things in our life. Detach yourself from the outcome. Think about what's making you feel good in the present. What idea is giving you a good feeling? And trust that feeling. That feeling is your gut feeling, which is mostly your intuition. And it's mostly right? When we detach ourselves from the outcome, we are taking all of our focus away from the outcome to what we can do about it now. That's it. See, if we focus too much on the outcome, that's when the fear will creep in. Because we're focused on the implications of the outcome. And that gets us spiraling in ahead, which we do not want, right? So, when we detach, we just focus on the next best step we can take for ourselves. And we don't think about 20 steps ahead. No, just the next step. And that's it. Work on your confidence. Learn to trust your own self, your own intelligence, and your own decision-making capabilities. Forget about the future for once and look at your own life. Look at how far you've come. Be proud of who you are. And trust that no matter what happens in the future, you will be able to handle it. And very well so. Look back at your own life and make a list of every achievement you've had up until now. No matter how big or small. Make a list and look at that list. That will restore your confidence in you. You have come this far because you trusted yourself. And every step of your journey, you learn something, you honed your skills, and that's why you're here. This list will do exactly this by telling you that you are good enough. This will address your overthinking because you will no longer have the fear of not being good enough because you are good enough. Instead of going and asking others what to do with your life, you know what's best. For you, nobody else has been in your shoes except for you. So you know what's best for you. Of course, it's advisable to take advices from others, but do what you think is the best for you. Overthinking often leads us to analysis paralysis. We're so busy, we're so stuck in our head, over-analyzing every situation, every scenario in our head, that it cripples our brain from making any sort of decision. Our brain is unable to pick one choice from the other and stick to it. As a result of which, we are not able to make any decision and we remain stuck where we are. So what happens when you don't make decisions for yourself? Somebody else will, or life will. This is why we need to address overthinking. We need to shift our focus from thinking too much into the future to just thinking about now. Now, overthinking also affects our closest relationships, right? Our friends and family and our partners, all of them are affected if we are an overthinker and we don't discuss our feelings and we remain stuck in our head. So what can you do about it in your relationships? First, communicate. Whenever you find yourself overthinking a certain situation, instead of remaining stuck in your head, discuss. Communicate your feelings. Communicate what you're thinking. Because while you are overanalyzing 5 different scenarios in your head, your partner, your friend, your family member, they don't even know what's up in your head. What's up with you? You might just end up damaging your relationships with people if you overthink too much. while communication helps solve every problem. So if you're uncomfortable with something, if you want to address something, just communicate and don't think too much about it. Chances are the worst case scenarios were just a figment of your imagination. You can also analyze if something is not gonna matter to you in 5 years, don't give it more than 5 minutes of your time. Life is too short to be with the wrong people in the wrong situations. That's it. Live in the present. How much more time are you gonna spend thinking about that relationship that is way over? You've already spent so much of your time and so much of your energy into that relationship when you were there, but now you're spending additional energy into that relationship that's not even there, thinking about a person who's most probably not even a part of your life anymore. All this time you could use in your own glow up, in becoming the better version of yourself, spending time with your friends or reading a good book. At least they will make you happy and not that past relationship, of course. So, live in the present and focus on yourself. Detach yourself from that relationship. That relationship was over months ago. See, even I was one of you guys. I would spend months after my breakup thinking about or mourning a certain breakup or thinking about that person. But after a point, I realized, is it benefiting me? No, it's not adding any value to my life like that person. Or, nor is it making me happy. So why am I spending more time on it? I think that was the time I realized that it's wrong and I stopped. I focused only on myself, focused on my own glow up, and I focused on building my life. The other person, while you're mourning, while you're thinking about the other person, he or she might be out there having fun. And you are here stuck in your room crying over that last relationship. Trust me. Trust me, it's not worth it. You deserve happiness, I deserve happiness, we all deserve happiness. So let's do things that make us happy and stop seeking validation from others. You know who you are. You're wonderful. You're so beautiful. You're so charming. You don't need to ask anybody else how you look. You look great. Just know that you do. Own it. Own everything about yourself. Confidence is the sexiest accessory you can wear. So wear it every day. So there you have it. Simple yet effective ways in which you can manage your overthinking. I'm excited to hear from you guys, so let me know which of these ways works for you. And do not forget to subscribe button. I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.